every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not fucking fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic feds. Because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
Anyways, we can get all these cases because this is dangerous.
Y'all have no plan. They'll never talk about nothing positive about the Democratic Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascist. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Do not take.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
Violence today. There you go, my poor.
Hi, I'm Kim.
Hi, I'm Heaven.
Andre Williams.
Now, Andre, we've been working together for about, I would say 4 or 5 months. Am I not always good with communication? Do I always say, hey, this is on, we're doing this?
Okay, all clean.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, very much.
Well, apparently your opponent tonight didn't know we were still doing this. His response to me was, hold up, because I hope he's watching. I didn't know it was still on until 5 minutes ago, not going to be able to make it. So my thing is this. Y'all made fun of Andre, because I hope his people are watching tonight. Y'all made fun of Andre. Y'all said he ran. Who the track star now? We still doing this. Like, Enzo, if your people are here watching, you can still show up. If not, we are going to have a one-sided discussion tonight on this topic, and it won't be a balance. So if any of your people are watching, Enzo, y'all need to go tell him to come here. But nevertheless, we're still doing this tonight, whether he's here or he's not. So Andre, tell me, why do you think there's such a push for this fake America first?
Because the establishment wants to assist Israel in becoming a regional power within the Middle East. This is what we're seeing with the war in Iran. This is what we've seen over the last 40 years geopolitically. Israel wants to become a world power. Israel wants to become a regional power. And the last blockade from that is Iran. And I would say Turkey to a degree, but mainly Iran, because Turkey's tied with NATO and there's a lot of agreements there. But Iran, being a Muslim country and whatnot, cannot acquire nuclear weapons. Well, I mean, they're years from getting a nuclear weapon, and it's mainly their ballistic missile program, which is a great threat to Israel. It's their drone program, which has incredible range, as we've seen them already bomb Diego Garcia. So they're able to hit, targets within a 4,000 kilometer radius. That's a big threat to Israel, mainly. That's a big threat to the Israelis. They don't like that. And with the support of China and Russia, they believe if they can combat this new axis of evil and show get the evangelical Christians in the West to support it, then they can have what they want. So what you're seeing is a big push from the Republican establishment and just the establishment in general to cancel and to silence. I've received this many times. I mean, everyone knows me from criticizing Black people, but the moment I started criticizing Jewish power and attacking Black conservatives that are very pro-Israel, my accounts get banned. I lost my 300K account just yesterday. I lost 300,000 followers on Instagram, not because of my comments with Black people. And mainly the videos got taken down were all on Israel, all on the Jewish question. So you really have to ask yourself, there's a great level of censorship to silence voices that are dissenting against, the Trump administration. I voted for Trump twice. I've supported him in high school. I've been watching the Apprentice since I was a child. It was on TV always. I loved it. And this is not the same Trump I've supported when I was in high school, or the same Trump I voted for in 2020 or 2024. This is a Trump that has been compromised. I feel that he is, because he's narcissistic, very high inflated ego. That's who he is. I mean, this is just who Trump is. I honestly believe that, when they shot at him in 2024, they're like, listen, you're going to play ball with us, so we're going to shoot you in the face and put it in 4K. We're at JFK you. And it's not going to be, we read about it in the paper. It's going to be in 4K, and they're going to play it all over the internet, and that's going to be your legacy. So either play ball with us, or your legacy will be Orange Man with his brains all over the television. And I think that scared the shit out of him. And he's been going in a direction of, I'm going to do everything I can for Israel and not for the American people. And we've seen that.
Kim, is criticizing Israel the same as betraying American interests, or is it part of a legitimate America First foreign policy debate? Why is support for Israel not America First, in your opinion, or why is it, if you think so?
It's not America First. Even as I get this a lot. I get a lot of surprise, even with the topic of immigration, when you guys have asked me about undocumented immigrants having services or paid social services, and I'll say I don't agree with that, even though I agree with some type of amnesty and things like that, not to divert the conversation. But similarly, with regards to the question of Israel, I start to sound like an America First person, because Israel is not part of the United States, and that's what people have, or at least the politicians have, fooled a lot of the voters to think that it is. And I think it's very shamefully and disgracefully at the expense of the history of the people who actually did suffer in the Holocaust, because I've met Holocaust survivors. And they're using that emotional and religious appeal, which is a non-argument, to trap these people into this Israel is an ally. It's not. It's a liability. And true Americans will hold their politicians and their government accountable to what they say, which is America first. I think all countries should prioritize their own citizens. If not, then why even have countries? We're not. We're prioritizing the Israel lobby. Not even Israelis, because we're putting them at risk and putting Americans at risk. We're putting the Israel lobby. I'm sorry?
I think someone came in the room for her on her end. So the biggest debate with the whole Israel-America debate is, does the country have a right to exist? This is Tucker Carlson, and the whole point of the debate tonight was saying, are Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens America first, or are they betraying America by going against Israel? Here we go.
In that narrow definition.
What does that mean, a right to exist?
The existence of the political state of Israel as
But it has
existed,
a right. What does that mean?
that you think it should continue in its existence as a state right now. So you do not agree with Iran, for example.
Well, let me just ask, since you asked me the question, it's fair for me to get you to define the term so I can answer it. You've asked two questions. The first was, do you believe Israel has a right to exist? And the second question was, do you believe Israel should continue to go on as a nation state? And those are very different questions. So I often hear the
Having
phrase,
been created as a political entity in 1948,
does it have a
that
right
state
to exist? Is that what you're asking?
I don't want to get hung up on the right.
No.
Should it continue to exist? That's how I define narrowly Zionism.
Because the phrase you used was devised by the Israeli government. Of course, does it have a right to exist? And so my question to you would be, what does that mean?
Why don't you answer my question? It's a very simple question.
I don't know what your question is. Are you asking, does it have a right to exist, or do I want it to exist? Do I seek its destruction?
Fine, answer it that way.
Well, of course I don't seek its destruction. I've already said, as you know, because I said it to you, I don't want Israel to be destroyed or have to use nuclear weapons.
We've established that you are in that narrow terms of Zionist. If that's
I'm in no sense a Zionist. I don't want any country to be destroyed, at all, and I don't want people to die, particularly ones who committed no crime, because I don't believe in killing innocents. Period. That's the basis of Western civilization. Eastern civilization is a whole different view. They believe in collective punishment. I don't.
So you're in no sense a Zionist.
I don't even know what that means. Why don't you define the term, and then I'll tell you whether I am.
I've just defined it.
What's a Zionist?
That a Zionist, in my narrow term, this definition is that the state of Israel, the political state of Israel, has the right to continue existing.
The right? Where does that right come from? What do you mean? These are I'm not being a lawyer about it. I just want to know what you're asking me.
To answer the question.
Because I don't know what you're asking me.
Let's go to the
Wait,
third.
no. I think a lot. You don't want to define your question, and I don't know why. I don't know what you're asking me. I've already said I don't want Israel to be destroyed. I don't want anyone to be killed. And you've said, does Israel have a right to exist? Does it have my question is, what right are you talking about? Does Britain have a right to exist? Does the United States have a right to exist?
There was a world order built up after 1945, which suggested that aggression should not be condoned into countries. That countries with borders have the right to continue.
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
Which is why the first thing that Israel did within 2 weeks of this war starting, which is supposedly existential for them, was take southern Lebanon, take someone else's country, as they have done repeatedly. And no one even mentions that. And so I guess I would be opposed to that, because I think Lebanon has a right to exist. I thought Gaza had a right to exist. But I noticed that as soon as we start apportioning rights, only one country gets them.
No, I did not say that. You're absolutely putting words into my mouth.
So because I believe, here's what I do believe, since you asked, I believe in universally applicable standards. And if they're not universally applicable, they're not standards, they're preferences.
So guys, everyone watching, keep calm and carry on. Thank you to Enzo supporters for getting the message out. We set up this whole debate because Enzo asked for it. So Enzo says he's now on his way. So in about 12 minutes, we will have the debate. But in the meantime, please tap the screen, hit the like button. Heaven, does Israel have a right to exist? Is it a complicated question? What's your thoughts?
It is not a complicated question at all. But Tucker had the right idea, because the right to exist, that is bundled with Hasbara, and a lot of the propaganda that's propagated out of Israel and has been since the beginning. No country has the right to exist. No country has the right to exist. It is the will of the people that establish that nation. It is our will, all of us collectively, that establish our nation. So no state has the right to exist. Just like in our Constitution, if the people come together, we have the right to abolish a tyrannical government, which, as our taxes get flooded over to Israel and not into our healthcare. As all of this money, let's not talk about gas prices at 4 something. Hello, what? That's what I saw to pump my gas today. I don't know if that's America First, but I would like to know, as an American citizen, does America have a right to exist? Do we have a right to exist? Because it seems to me like this administration is tearing down every bit of what America was, all of our established precedent, all of our administration is being dismantled. So how about we stop giving our money to Israel, make sure our soldiers are safe? As a veteran who just got out, no state has the right to exist. And I think we, the people, should come together and get this American government in the right direction, because clearly they're not worried about us.
So, Gray, I know you served in the Middle East. Thank you for your service. And I know in our personal conversations, you've mentioned that to you, Israel is a good ally. They are a good partner. What is your answer? Do they have the right to exist? What is your thoughts?
Well, we look at the history lesson, which we've talked about, is that the Jews were refugees when they went to today as Israel. So do they have a right to exist? It seems like they've kind of went over there and kind of took over the land, but they've already built infrastructures, business. It's a massive country. It may not be a world power, but it's a massive country. So I feel like it's not going to be possible for them to be destroyed. They're going to exist. So I don't think it's whether they have a right to exist. It's the reality of they're going to exist, and most likely Palestinians are going to suffer for Israel to exist.
Palestinians, we now would see it going into Lebanon. Lebanon is now ground zero 2.0. Tehran is taking hits. They're not showing you the hits Tehran is taking, but there's a reason why Israel flooded them with a barrage of bombs last night, and they got destroyed. I don't know what the media is telling you guys. Stop watching Fox News. Stop listening to
Greater
the White House.
Israel.
Right. Andre,
the biblical Greater Israel.
Exactly. Andre, you Lord Jordan sent a super chat. Yo, Dre, remember my advice from Chaotic Show. You got a nice little fan there, Andre. So thank you, Lord, for the $2 super chat. Andre, anything to say to your fan?
Shout out to Lord Geotron. It's good to hear from you, man. It's been a long journey. Remember those days I've been on the Chaotic Show? Now we're here. It's good to see you and good to hear from you. So thank you for the $2, man. I appreciate it.
Last night was a very hard-hitting night. Netanyahu, I see, is still alive. I'll play his clip in a few minutes. Andre, did you think Netanyahu was dead? Why or why not? Clearly, he's still alive, but you think they're lying to us?
I think Netanyahu's still alive. I don't think there's any evidence to prove that he's dead. And if that was the case, I still wouldn't stop Israel in what they're doing. I think someone even more radical would get into power. And that's something that we have to understand. The moment you topple someone or try to push for regime change, all you do is radicalize a people. And that's what we're seeing in Iran. This propaganda that Iran is going to overthrow the government and take over. No, this is bullshit. And mainly this is coming from Jews and people outside, like Iranians who left. Like I went to Europe and now I support the Shah coming back. It's like, well, why don't you go there and fight for it then? If you want the Shah to come back, then take your ass back to Tehran, take a flight, grab an AK and do your fucking thing. But if not, then shut the fuck up and live in Europe or live in the United States. I don't want to hear anything from these people who've left this country, left their home country and are demanding that we go over there and make change for them. The Iranian people want to be free. Nigga, I want to be free. I want gas prices not to be high. I want a good affordable living for my generation. I don't want to sit back and die in the desert. I don't want to see another generation go die in the desert. I don't want that. I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to have that. Now, if this is a war against civilizational powers, like it's a war against the United States and China based on, hey, we built up our economy, we built up our military, and now we want to challenge you, then fine. That's a war for existence and global hegemony. But right now, we're not fighting for a war of survival, a war of our existence. We're fighting on the behalf of another country that wants to gain power and become a dominant power. And what do we get out of this? Nothing. And the greatest example of what you're not getting anything out of it is going to the gas pump and realizing that you don't fucking you got to pay all this extra money now because your politicians within the State Department, within the intelligence community, tied with the Israelis and even the Saudis to a degree, want to push for greater Israel and to have a more just kind of continuing the petrodollar.
Well, now the show begins. What up, Enzo?
What's up?
All right, you ready?
So later that night, I set up cameras and UV lights.
Okay.
Just keep it going. That's how you guys are doing it. Open panel like this. This will be fun.
Oh, you don't want to debate?
I don't care. We all three of us could debate. I'll do a 3v1 right now with everybody here.
No one. Well,
I don't think that would be fair. I don't think that would be fair. I think we should just do one-on-one.
I just did a 6v1 earlier today on the same topic.
Well, we're not going to do that. We are not going to do that. We are not going to do that. We are going to have 1v1. Heaven was here just in case Andre didn't show up. And also, if you were to bring Mideast Peace, we were going to have it 2v2. Kimberly and Heaven are now here to fact check. They're going to fact check Andre as well as you. We are also going to begin with 2-minute introductions, the same way we did it last week. So, Enzo, we'll let you go first with your introduction.
You can let Andre go first. That's fine. I don't know what I'm going to say yet, so he can go first.
Let you go first, man. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
I'm telling you,
Go off the red carpet.
Well,
I don't know. I don't have anything to say yet. So
yeah, let me set the stage first for what we're talking about, guys. If you're watching, please hit the like button, and Jesus, please get this energy out. Anyways, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's discussion. Tonight, we're going to tackle one of the most heated and complicated debates in American politics right now: the role of Israel in U.S. foreign policy and what America first really means when it comes to our allies. For decades, the alliance between the United States and Israel has been one of the most consistent partnerships in international politics. Supporters argue that Israel is America's strongest democratic ally in the Middle East and a critical partner for intelligence, military cooperation, and regional stability. But in recent years, the conversation has shifted, particularly within conservative circles. Voices like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens have sparked debate by questioning whether unconditional support for Israel aligns with an America First foreign policy. So tonight's debate is not simply about Israel. It's about how America defines its alliances, how foreign policy should serve American interests, and whether questioning longstanding partnerships strengthens our democracy or undermines it. So here we go. Question one, we're going to kick it off. Is criticizing Israel the same as betraying American interests, or is it part of a legitimate America First policy? We're going to start with 2-minute intros. Andre first.
Well, I've said this, extensively, that Israel is not our greatest ally. It's been like that for, I would say, many decades now. We can go back to 1948. I really would put it at the Kennedy administration, with them stealing nuclear information to build their nuclear program in secret and defying our request for them not to go further and build a nuclear weapon in the Middle East because of the instability, because of the power dynamic that will be created of a country in the Middle East, a very a sandbox for conflict. It's always been like that for centuries, for millennia, if anything. Them acquiring a nuclear weapon would be extremely bad for world peace, world stability, and regional stability. So, this whole talk that Israel is our greatest ally is an evangelical 1980s propaganda push that they've been pushing forever. And it has worked. Unfortunately, it has worked. Because instead of looking at how reality works, and like I said, I'm a Christian at the end of the day. I believe in Christ is King. I believe that, God is real, God exists. But I'm not going to sit back and believe that God is solely focused on me. If God is the universal creator of everything, he's looking at all of us. And my interpretation of God's existence is based on my collective belief as a Christian. Christianity is an interpretation of a creator. We have a certain belief of what the creator will do and how we will get to the kingdom of heaven. Now, Jews have manipulated this because we have to understand that Judaism and Christianity are two separate religions. And Jewish identity is a racial and ethnic point of view and perspective, compared to Christianity, was mainly not necessarily racial. It could say there is a predominance of, mostly whites who are Christian, but Christianity is more universal. And something that more people can subscribe to than Judaism. In order to be a Jew ethnically, you have to have a mother that's Jewish. To get into Judaism is a lot. So we have to understand that when it comes to this entire push that we're seeing within government, within academia, is not for the benefit of America, but to undermine America's power and to take advantage of a declining power in order to build a new power in the Middle East. They are not our ally. They are a parasite on American stability and American existence.
Enzo, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it? Is criticizing Israel the same as betraying American interests, or is it part of a legitimate America First foreign policy debate?
So my entire thoughts on this are, like I've said 1,001 times, it's completely fine to criticize the Israeli government. That's completely fine. Just same exact way you want to criticize the American government. There's no problem with that whatsoever. But when it gets to the extreme, when you start criticizing the Israeli government and bundling in the Jewish people, that's when it gets a little bit murky. And that's what we've seen. And no, this is not America First by criticizing the Israeli government or the Israeli people at all. Again, Israel has been our strongest ally in the region, and it's completely backed up by plenty of things that we've seen before. The only problem is that we have people that are on the fringe that just want to believe this greater Israel theory, this clean break memo, when, I mean, we'll probably get into that later on into this debate. I just think it's asinine that people still believe all this when there's no evidence to back any of this up. So that's really all I got to say with this. I don't need a full 2 minutes to go through it.
Oh man, Enzo, I wanted to hear why they're our ally, but I guess by now we should know, right? All right. First question, I'm going to allow Enzo to answer first since you didn't use your full time. Guys, we're doing it the same way as last week. Just a reminder, we have 2-minute answers, guys. Also, it gets pretty spicy between you and Andre, Enzo, and same with you, Andre. So you guys, I have one warning. I'm going to mute you. If you keep unmuting yourself, I'm going to pull you down backstage for 2 minutes. That's your punishment, because I want it to be respectful. This is a serious topic and it's very sensitive. So everybody good with that? All right. Should the United States treat Israel like any other ally, or does Israel deserve unique support because of strategic and historical ties?
No, they should be treated just like every other ally that there is. Everybody complains about the support that goes to Israel, the $3.2 billion a year. They complain that we're sending our tax dollars to Israel, that they have health care that we're paying for. They have universal health care that we're paying for, that they're going to school. But in the same breath, these people won't complain about the $147 billion that's going to the Middle East alone. They won't complain about any of the money that's going to NATO. They won't question any other money that's going to any other country in the world for anything. Now, I think they should be treated just like every single country that is out there. And here's the thing. I'm not somebody that says we should fund Israel, that we should give Israel money. What I've been saying, with what we've seen in the Middle East for the last 47 years now, is take out the fucking regime that's terrorizing the Middle East. Take them out, take out their proxies, because there is a country in the Middle East that starts with an I that's been terrorizing the Middle East for 47 years now. And I'll tell you this, it's not fucking Israel. It's not. It's Iran and their proxies. And that's why we fund all of these countries in the Middle East for protection. We give them money to defend against Iran, against their terrorist groups that are in the region, not Israel. So no, we should keep that same energy, and we should pull out of NATO altogether, and we should stop funding all these countries around the world and actually take out the one group and one people that are the ones that are terrorizing the region, so we don't have to pay them anymore.
Andre, same question. Should the United States treat Israel like any other ally?
It's not an ally, so we should abandon it. There's no alliance. There's no friendly relationship we should have with a country that has been terrorizing the Middle East for more than a century. We're going to talk about 47 years. It's been a century that Israel has been terrorizing the Middle East and even causing problems that have now seeped into Europe and the United States. The big reason why we have such a massive immigration problem from the Arab world is because we bombed these people's racial and religious homelands, and now they've flooded our countries, and some revenge and some for economic opportunity, which I understand both the perspectives. Do I like it? No, but I have an understanding of why they're doing it. And it's simply because we've destroyed where they live, and now they're here. And the same people advocating for it are mainly Jewish atheists, Jewish elite that have been funding these programs, who have been the biggest advocates for immigration. They have championed this. The World Jewish Congress has championed this. Many Jewish organizations have championed themselves as the the spearheading immigration issues and protecting the rights of immigrants. I mean, some of their biggest immigration lawyers are Jewish. I mean, we have to look at that. So we have to really look at that and acknowledge the problem. When it comes to Iran, I don't look at these people as terrorists. I look at these people as freedom fighters, honestly. If someone's coming to invade my country and to bomb my ethnic and religious homelands of my ethnic and racial religious brothers, I'm going to form a group too. I'm going to form a militia as well. We did the same thing here on this continent. We did the same thing here in this country, right? A beautiful thing. And now we are a world power. So the same thing is happening throughout the Middle East. We funded all these terrorist groups. I mean, we funded the Mujahideen in the 1980s to fight the Russians, to fight the Soviets. And then guess what came from that? Osama bin Laden. What came from that? Al Qaeda. Same thing with ISIS. And we're looking at the person running Syria right now was on a terrorist watch list. And now he's lauded as a champion of freedom and he's an excellent ally for the West. So what are we talking about? I don't think that Enzo has any understanding of the politics of that region. I think he's just pushing a bunch of propaganda. I don't think he's being paid to do it. I just think he doesn't, really know what he's talking about. And that's fine because you can learn.
Enzo, I see you changed your name to APAC Enzo. Are you being paid by APAC to say what you're saying?
No, I'm not being paid. I'm not being paid to spew fucking Israeli propaganda. I do that as a joke. I do that as a joke because it's completely asinine with the one-dimensional arguments and the quote-unquote facts that people want to throw out about this. So first off, you're saying that Israel has been a problem in the Middle East for nearly a century now. I don't think you understand what a century is, first off, because the Israeli state's not even 100 years old. So one wrong there too. And it's crazy that Israel is the ones that are indigenous to that land and they're taking back the land that is theirs. We can go back to the biblical times. We can go back to the Roman Empire. We can go back to the Greek Empire to show that that land is their land. That's like complaining about the Native Americans in America. If they wanted to take back the land that we took from them, that it's wrong for them to do that. When the Muslims and the Arab people who come from the Arab people that are running fucking Iran right now, as well as the ones that are in Lebanon, as well as Palestine, they come from the Arabian Peninsula. So for you to even sit here and say that Israel's taking their land, taking their ethnic land, their religious land is completely false. We have thousands of years of history to show that. So again, if they want to take back their land and they're attacked on their land, sure, let them fucking fight it out. That's not my fucking worries. The problem is that we just have a bunch of people in this country that are numb to reality, numb to history, and they call everything propaganda, spouting out just little straight up hate speech at the end of the day. It's the stupidest shit to me that this is going on. Sorry. Open a book.
I gotta respond to that. This is the political right now. This is what it means to hate speech. What side am I on?
Timing for my next question. And Andra, I'll let you lead first. Grace, start the timer. Does the growing criticism of Israel on the political right represent a healthy debate within conservatism, or does it risk empowering anti-Israel, anti-Semitic movements? Do you think this is hate speech, Andre? Why or why not?
Of course not. I could talk shit, as we know, many of us who follow me. I criticize and very critical of the Black community and Black culture. There are content creators who are very critical of white people and white culture, white identity. But for some reason, the moment you start criticizing the state, the Jewish ethno-state of Israel, and when I said 100 years, I'm going back to 1917, so over 100 years. I'm not just talking about the creation of Israel. I'm talking about the push for Israel to exist as a state, as an ethnic homeland for Jewish people in the world, in which we're seeing today. None of this is hate speech. None of this is, hateful talk. I want Jews to be held accountable in the same way that Blacks are being held accountable now, in the same way that whites have been held accountable over the last few decades. The same thing. That's why I want to live in my country. I don't want people who are just completely immune to criticism because, well, that's going to lead to another Shoah. We're going to have another Holocaust if you say something mad or disgusting about the Jewish people. I don't give a fuck about that. I really don't care. We could sit back and listen to these people talk about there's no genocide in Gaza, but the moment you're like, well, you know what? I don't think there was some camps on the east side of the Reich. I think they created those camps. It's like, oh, you can't say that. That's horrible. You're a disgusting anti-Semite. Okay, well, I don't give a fuck at this point. I can really care less. When you're criticizing these people, when you're talking out against these people, they censor you, they silence you. And I've had that. And listen, Enzo, I'm probably the only person between me and you. I'm the only person here that has been banned as many times, has been censored as many times, not just for criticizing blacks, but mainly for criticizing Jews. And this push from the political right talking about hate speech. I mean, what fucking side am I on now? Have I been sitting here with lefties this entire time? Where have you guys been throughout the 2010s when we had massive censorship from both parties, and both parties have failed to stop it because they don't want anti-Semitism to be on the rise. They don't want people to be critical of Jewish power and Jewish supremacy.
And so I'm sorry, I'm laughing because you're a baby. Does the
In the 2010s, you were like 12. Yeah, you're really being censored at 12, my guy.
25, dude.
You're younger than me.
25.
Yeah.
How old are you, Enzo?
I'm 28.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
You're 28, dude. I'm 25, dude. Like, what the fuck?
I know you're 3 years
about?
younger than me. And you're talking about the 2010s. You were like 12.
Yeah, when I was in high school.
You're really.
Yeah, when I was in high school.
You were in high school.
Yeah, I've been politically aware. I've been political.
Really?
Yeah, in the 2010s. I was
a
in high
freshman.
school.
I was a freshman in
2019.
2012. How were you in high school in 2010?
That's cool.
And you're 25.
I didn't say in the 2010s.
I know math's
I was
not
in
your
high
strong
school, buddy.
All right,
Math
so
is not my strong suit. How?
Math and history definitely ain't your strong suit because you're saying about a
It
century.
very much
ago,
is. That's
first
why a
off,
lot of people follow me for my perspective. That's why a lot of people agree with my perspective.
When you were addressing the Israeli state, you were saying a century ago. That's what you did say. Don't
Yes,
try to
for a
clarify
century.
now.
I said for a century. The push for the Israeli state has been going on in Jewish power. I mean, I don't think you listened to what I said.
I heard you. I heard you loud and clear. So you were.
I don't think you did. I don't think it processed through the Italian brain. I don't know if the SpaghettiOs are getting in the way, but I don't think you got it clearly. I don't know. Maybe the camera's picking me up to try some of that.
Calm down.
I'll get some. I'm Uncle Ruckus now. He liked my content before, but now he's like, I'm Uncle Ruckus because I don't like the Jews.
Hey, I would love for you to show me liking your content because I never liked your
when
content.
I first came on, you didn't have this much smoke for me when I first came on. I was first speaking to you. You're like, I like Andre. I like Andre's perspective. That was something you said. I remember that very clearly. I may have a TBI, but I remember shit pretty clearly. All right, it gets a little foggy sometimes, but fuck, I remember things pretty fucking clearly every now and again. All right. So he was very much on my side. This is the thing, because the moment I start criticizing black people, or if I were to switch over and start criticizing white people, I get massive support. I would be at 600K on Instagram right now. But both of my accounts have been taken down, and mainly the videos have been taken down. Not even the black ones, mainly all of them about Jewish power and Jewish supremacy. Every video I've put up about Jews and Israel has been taken down. And guess what? The main targets in those videos, black people saying something. Black people saying something, and they've been taken off the platforms. They've been demonetized. And so you haven't had that. So please don't come to me and talk about history or talk about the political right or anything, because I've been on this side for very much longer than you have, buddy.
Enzo's lost like 7 accounts.
7 accounts. How many views? What is he talking about?
So this isn't a competition about who's been banned more.
It very much is a competition. I'll say so. It's a competition of superior thinking, of ways of thinking. I would say so.
Let's get to the question. Does the growing criticism of Israel on the political right represent a healthy debate, Enzo, within conservatism, or does it risk empowering anti-Israel and anti-Semitic movements? Is it hate speech? What do you think?
So here's the thing. I'm going to preface this by saying I condemn all types of hate speech altogether. I don't think hate speech has a place in this world whatsoever. And again, the growing criticism of Israel is completely just straight up anti-Semitism at this point, because we have people like Andre that are saying Jewish people need to be held accountable for every single thing like that. That I don't care if another Holocaust happens, that Jewish people are fucking genociding people in Gaza. That's your entire stance. We get it. You want the Fourth Reich to rise, and when it does, you're going to be lynched up.
I never said that. I never said that. I never said that.
Let me know when I can have my time.
Oh, hold on, Andre. Don't cut him off.
I didn't.
All right, cool. Thank you. So like I was saying, yes, we're going to have a rise of anti-Semitism in this country because of people like this, because people like this ignore historical context, ignore exactly how things happened back in the day. This is why I'm saying math ain't your strong suit, as well as history, because I would implore you to open a book and understand why and how the Holocaust happened. And this is not somebody that's cucking or coping for the Israeli state whatsoever. This is just somebody who's sick and tired of the narrative narratives that are being spin out there, that Israelis are not indigenous to this land, that the Jewish people need to be held accountable, that they're the biggest threat to the United States, that the clean break memo and the greater Israel theory is happening, when again, I love when people bring that up, because none of what Bibi Netanyahu talked about 30 years ago has happened in the Middle East. The region's been destabilized for X amount of time. They had a power vacuum that was there that they let terrorists take control of. But now, United States intervention into the region to topple Iran is going to cause Israel to go into these 7 nations and take over. It is literally the most brain dead fucking bullshit that you guys buy into. And I don't understand. It's just, this is the one thing that the far left and the far right will agree on, that you guys are one and the same on. That's what you guys are.
You bring up the next question we're going to go into, Enzo. Is the idea of a greater Israel project a legitimate geopolitical concern in Middle East policy, or is it largely a conspiracy theory used to inflame tensions around the state of Israel? Enzo, I'll let you answer that question first, and then then Andre will have his time.
Perfect. It is legitimately a conspiracy theory, a complete bullshit theory that people have harped on, because here's the thing. The Middle East has been destabilized since 2003 with the topple of Saddam Hussein. With the help of I'm sorry, not with the help of anybody. So it explicitly states in the greater Israel theory, as well as the clean break memo, that Israel wants 7 nations to be stabilized so Israel could take over these countries. Again, 6 out of the 7 nations were already destabilized when they had no military, they had no government, they had no nothing for them to take over, and they didn't. They didn't for what reason? Because it's not a fucking thing. If they have no government, they have no military, they have nothing to stop Israel from taking over, Israel just should have took over. They should have planted their camps. They should have planted in and took over the fucking region, but they didn't. But now, because the United States is going into Iran, that's when they're going to do it. That's when they're going to start doing. That's why they're in Lebanon right now. Oh wait, they're in Lebanon fighting the fucking Hezbollah. They're in Gaza. They're in Palestine fighting Hamas. They're not fighting the people of that land. They're not fighting the governments of that land. That's why I say this is all bullshit, and there's no relevant evidence to conclusively say any of this is ever going to happen, because they had a perfect fucking time. And if they were in the backs of the United States so fucking much, they would have done it between 2003 and 2011, when the United States destabilized the entire region, taking out fucking Saddam, taking out Libya, taking out Afghanistan. They had that. They had a perfect way in there, and it didn't happen. Stop harping on these fucking conspiracy theories.
Andre, is the idea of a greater Israel project a legitimate geopolitical concern? Is it a conspiracy theory, or is it real?
Oh, it's been stated by many Israeli politicians, even Benjamin Netanyahu. We just saw the article for at least 20 years now, at least 30 years now. It's not something that's like, oh, it just came out of last week and this is a conspiracy theory. We don't have any data or evidence to back it up. In other words, from people throughout Israel in various different positions of power, and even throughout Europe and the United States, have stated that this is the intent. The greater Israel is the intent. Now, this is something that I know Enzo is not really well versed in. You don't have to just go and invade a country to take it over. The best thing that we've done within the United States, and for better or for worse, we've created a very strong intelligence apparatus. We've created a very, very deep and very concentrated network of intelligence across the world. And much of our intelligence when it comes to the Middle East comes from 2 places. It comes from Mossad. It comes from the GID, the Israeli intelligence. Now, who fed us false information during the Iraq War? It was Israel. Who pushed the lies of WMDs, who pushed the lies that Saddam was working with Osama bin Laden, when Osama bin Laden hated Saddam Hussein, went to the Saudis and said he wants to take them over. And they refused because they were going to bring in the United States. And this is when we got 1991. This is when we got 2003 and everything. I just don't think that Enzo knows what he's talking about. I mean, it's been clearly stated by many Israeli politicians. It's been clearly stated by many Jewish organizations, even Christian organizations, that the intent is greater Israel. And we're seeing the push into Lebanon and all these other countries. It's not just to fight Hezbollah. Hezbollah is like a militia group. If we started a militia group in North Carolina to fight the British, it'd be the same thing. They're actively stabilizing homelands and taking over the homelands of these people. And millions of people have already been displaced in Lebanon simply because of that. Well, I would say at least 800,000 from what I've read. 800,000, so close to a million have been displaced. So I don't really know what Enzo's talking about. It's just he's pushing Hasbara propaganda. That's all it is, you know. And I don't even think I don't even say that he's like being paid for. He's a shill. It's more he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's it.
Talk about misinformation. Talk about not knowing what you're talking about. So the only thing that Bibi said in 2002 for us to go into Iran was that they possibly had weapons of mass destruction in the form of nuclear weapons. There's reports that came out after we went into Iraq, that they did find WMDs, that they did find stockpiles of chemical weapons in Iraq. They did find that. That is in the findings. And it's even spoke about from one of Saddam's head fucking people that they were flying chemical weapons out of Iraq prior to the invasion, which ended up in the hands of the Syrian regime that Bashar was using them on his own fucking people in the latter years of the
how many
Obama
people have chemical weapons in the region? How many countries have criminal records in the region?
Talk about misinformation. You don't even know what you're
Israel
talking
has
about.
WMD.
Yeah, they
Israel
do.
has
We all know
WMD,
about
so
it.
they're
Yeah. So what? They didn't
No,
sign
actually,
the NPT. So
we
what?
don't know about it. Actually,
We
we
do
don't
know
know
about
about
it.
it.
We
don't
do
even know how
know
many.
about
We
it.
have an
We do
estimate.
know about
We have
it.
an estimate, Enzo. We have an estimate of how many nuclear weapons they could possibly have, but much of that information is under secrecy, and the Jewish intelligence, Jewish politicians keep it in
And
secret.
what's wrong with that?
And they illegally because they
So
illegally.
when did they threaten? When did they threaten to use them on their own neighbors? When did they threaten to use it on their
The
own people?
Samson option is the biggest thing. The Samson option is something very big. The Hannibal Directive. Hold on, the Hannibal Directive, another
Why
thing as
didn't
well.
they use it?
Okay.
Why didn't they use it during the 7-Day War then?
One at
Why
a
didn't
time,
they use
guys.
their
One
nuclear
at a
weapons?
Because you understand
So
what the
you wanna
Samson
bring up
option is
Samson
for,
option.
right?
You want to bring up
Do you know
Samson
what the
option.
Samson option is?
Thank you. Yes, that they're going
Do
to
you know what
nuke
the
the
Hannibal
region if
Directive
they're invaded.
directive is?
Because they're going to nuke the region if they are invaded. That's the Samson option. Now
Okay.
again, why didn't
Okay.
they? Because we
Has
know
Israel
they
been
had
invaded?
nuclear weapons. We know that really the 7-Day War where they were attacked by everybody. Why didn't they use it then?
Have they been invaded
Hey,
to the
again,
point?
I'm asking you.
What happened during the 7-Day
All
War?
right, time
Did they
out,
have a
guys.
nuclear
Time
program
out.
during the
Because
7-Day
we
War?
went history lesson.
I
Hold
like
on.
answers.
Time out. Time
So
out,
again,
guys. I'm gonna play a
7-Day War.
video.
Why didn't they use it?
I'm gonna play a video.
Did they have nuclear weapons during the 7-Day
They
War?
had nuclear.
Okay, thank you. This is Lindsey Graham talking about a war that we previously were in where we lost 6,000 Americans. So Andre went last. I have Enzo respond to this, and Andre go next.
Been obliterated, and they're running out of money. So here's what I tell President Trump. Keep it up for a few more weeks. Take Carg Island, where all of the resources they have to produce oil. Control that island. Let this regime die on a vine.
Is this going to, though, take Carg Island? Is it going to involve U.S. troops on the ground? Let me just read you something from The Atlantic. Does an assessment on that. They say U.S. troops may well take Carg Island. We believe their ability to do so, but only to endure ballistic missile strikes, drone attacks, petrochemical smoke, all without a reliable means of obtaining logistical support. The result could be a grinding war of attrition. They talk about how far away they would be from resupply.
I'm sort of tired of all this armchair quarterbacking. This has been an amazing military operation. God bless the fallen.
But it's a difference when we talk about troops on the ground.
I trust the Marines, not that guy. I trust DOD. We got 2 Marine expeditionary units sailing to this island. We did Iwo Jima. We can do this. The Marines, my money is always on the Marines. I don't know if you take the island or you blockade the island, but I know this. The day we control that island, this regime, this terrorist regime, has been weakened. It will die on a vine. And here's what I want to do. I want to get with Chris. I want to sprint to peace. As the war winds down, I want peace to ramp up. The reason we don't have Saudi Arabia and Israel making peace is October the 7th, 2023. Iran through Hamas attacked Israel, stopping normalization. I want to take up and complete what Biden started. As soon as we get Iran defanged so they can never do another October 7th, I want to start up peace talks between Saudi and Israel this year. I want a peace deal between Saudi and Israel normalizing, ending the Arab-Israeli conflict. It's been going on for 2,000 years this year, and you can't do it with a lethal Iran. So we're weeks away from this Iranian regime not having the capability to stop peace.
Okay, very quickly, though, because
All right, Enzo, what's your response to that?
My response is, I think they should take Carg Island so we could stop the oil imports that are coming out of the region. that are going to our biggest adversaries. I don't agree with that whatsoever. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I thought it was necessary for the United States to go into this conflict altogether, is to stop our two biggest adversaries. Because 2 days after this war started on March 4th, Russia came forward and said, you know, we're willing to accept the security guarantees for Ukraine. China stopped all their encroaching flights onto Taiwan because they're not going to have the capabilities to go into Taiwan by 2027 by cutting off their oil supply. So no, I think we absolutely should go in there. We should. I think the United States is not doing enough at this point, to be honest with you. Cut the power to the region altogether. Cut the power to the country altogether. It's not like the people in the country have power anyway. The IRGC took it out from them. They don't have cell service. They don't have Wi-Fi. They have nothing. So let's go harder. I want more. I want this to be done as fucking quickly as possible. If we got to put Marines on the ground for a couple weeks to secure Karg Island, which barely has any troops on it to begin with, by means do so. Do so. Get this done over with as quickly as possible. If this goes anywhere close to next year is when I'm going to start having a problem. I don't want this to turn into a forever war. I don't want this to turn into an occupation, but I want this to get done as quickly as possible.
So, Andre, my question is supporting Israel essential to U.S. national security in the Middle East, or has the alliance dragged America into unnecessary conflicts, such as the one we're in now?
It drags us into unnecessary conflicts. I mean, the Israelis have not lost a single troop on the ground in the conflicts we've been in over the last 30 years. They've never engaged on the ground with us. The only thing they've done mainly is support with intelligence. That's pretty much it. Other than that, we've been doing their bidding. No, I don't want Marines going to Karg Island and taking it over. It's nothing to do with us. And no, it's not harming our adversaries. We have to stop with this 1980s worldview of geopolitics. Like the Soviet Union is still here, that Mao is still in China. Like the Chinese and Russians are going to be world powers. Multipolarity is a real thing. And all this is going to do is drive us towards multipolarity, if anything. The Chinese are not going away. Every time China gets destabilized, guess what? For maybe a few hundred years, they come right back. Same thing with the Russians. These countries are not going anywhere. So stop trying to we have to stop them from going into Taiwan. They should go into Taiwan. It's their part of the du jour. It's no different than us wanting Hawaii or Alaska back if they got taken away from us. The Russians are probably going to unite much of the Slavic world. I think that's going to happen in the next century. I think Europe is so weak that much of Eastern Europe will be united underneath the Russians. I think that's just going to happen. Will to power will make it so. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So anyway, no, I don't want to see Marines going in because I've got buddies that are still in. I got people who are still in the Army and Marine Corps I've met. I don't want to see them fucking die in another. And most of them, when I sit back and talk to a lot of these guys who are my age, who I came in as a fucking private with them, and now they're, E5 types and beyond. They don't want a lot of their fucking guys to go and die for bullshit. And I don't want to see them do that shit either. And it's not for a benefit. We don't get anything from it at all. Oh, the oil. We heard the same thing about Iraq. We heard the same thing. Oh, we need to stabilize this place. And guess what? It turns out to be Syria, and it turns into Afghanistan. Why? Stop. And all you're going to do is radicalize these people even more to create more terror and more attacks on us in the long term. So leave these fucking people alone. Focus on our hemisphere. Focus on the internal problems here, which this administration sadly has not done.
We're going to switch gears because I think Enzo kind of answered that question with explaining why we should go in. But Enzo, something that people like to say on the right a lot, or people anti-Israel say, is that they feel that Israel has taken over our politics and our government. Do you agree? And has the Israel debate become a litmus test inside conservative politics?
No, I think it's just stupid that they say that Israel is influencing our politics. But then when you ask these people, what policies have been legislated on to benefit Israel, to benefit the Israeli people, they only tell you about $3.2 billion a year in a credit to go to Israel. That's all they could tell you. Oh, they influenced our government with AIPAC. AIPAC is funding all of our senators and Congress members. But if you ask me what piece of legislation has been signed in the last 20 years, I can't tell you except for $3.2 billion. But they'll forget, again, like I said before, that we sent $150 billion to the fucking region, that we make $40 billion off Israel every single year in arms sales. So it's actually helping the United States. It's actually helping us instead of giving it to NATO, who doesn't give us fucking shit, or give another $300 or $400 million a year to Canada, who don't do shit for us, or any other fucking third world country that we give money to that doesn't do shit for us. At least we turn a profit by sending it to Israel. So I just think this whole APAC has influenced us, but we don't talk about CARE. We don't talk about the pharmaceutical industry. We don't talk about the tech bros that influenced our government that are getting legislation signed off on their behalf. The pharmaceutical industry that are getting legislation signed off on their behalf. Again, CARE, who's a part of how many terrorist attacks that are funding our government through Qatar, and how many other countries that were part of the Muslim Brotherhood that got. So we only want to bitch about Israel, the selective outrage. Again, it's just comical. It honestly is just comical.
Andre, same question. Is Israel influencing our government, and how so? Why?
It's the biggest thing. We talk of dual citizenship. That's probably the worst thing that's ever happened. And mainly, there's a lot of Jewish influence in pushing for that, and that benefits Israel gratefully. It does. And there's many people, especially a lot of Zionists, who have this dual citizenship. Like, well, if things get bad here in the United States, I'll just go to Israel. No different than what Germany had during World War II. Well, if things get bad here in Germany, I'll just go to England, France, and the United States. It's exactly what we saw during the interwar period leading up to World War II. So history loves to rhyme, not just repeat itself, but rhyme. We're talking about CARE and all the Muslims don't have influence over the government like Jews do. There are not various different anti-Semitic laws or being pushed by our politicians. And as we see throughout Europe, there are not these laws being pushed by, Muslims, Islamophobic laws or laws against Islam. You can talk shit about Islam all damn day on social media. But the moment you start criticizing Jews, it's met with anti-Semitism and, hate speech and whatnot, and you're flagged down for that. I mean, I have people in my comments that will talk massive shit about, Muslims and even Christians. But the moment you mention Judaism, it's like, no, okay. So I really don't know what he's talking about. We could sit back and talk about the amount of money that comes from CARE. I have a problem with all that. I don't like foreign lobbying, period. But, APAC is not registered as a foreign agent. And guess what? We have all these different organizations that are tied to APAC and tied to Jewish organizations that push for more and more of a better relationship between Israel and the United States at our expense. I don't want more Americans dying. I don't care if we turn a profit. The profits that we're having for the last 30 years, there are more empty tables at the family, in the kitchen, in the kitchen in the household of many American families, because we've sent boys to go over and fight for these wars. We have more women and daughters and sons who are now gone and now have to go and fight for these wars. And guess what? They get nothing out of it. They come back fucked up. So that's what you have. And that's been going on since Vietnam. That was kind of the beginning of that. But with this, we really don't get anything from it. With Vietnam, at least we're fighting communism. But with this, we're fighting for the interests of Israel and no one else.
Guys, we're about to wrap up and do closing thoughts. Ray, do you have a question you'd like to add?
No, but I mean, Heaven has one, I believe.
Heaven, do you have your question ready?
I do. It's for both of them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What do you both think that money that we do send to Israel, what could that do for Americans? Just to switch gears a little bit, all that money that we do send, how could that help and benefit the American people, in your opinion?
It's Enzo first, I think.
Yeah, Enzo, I'll let you go first.
It's already benefiting the United States when we get $40 billion back. So we get $37 billion a year
from what?
From Israel, from arms sales.
Let them respond.
So
2 minutes.
I want. So we don't. Companies do. Again, back to the American people.
America.
All right,
not the corporation.
So that goes back into America. That goes back into the workers. So that goes back into the military industrial complex. That goes back into the people who work for them. That's providing jobs for them. That's providing food in their table so they can go out and go pay for things. So that's going right back to the American people. You forget that Americans work for these companies that are making the money, which the money will go into the company, and then they get paid for doing a job that goes to their bank account. So that's going to the American people.
How much does the CEO make, though? So it goes.
I don't give a fuck
to
how much the
corporation.
CEO makes. I don't care. I don't.
I do, because I care about the American people.
That's
as a
great.
whole.
I care for the American
people. As our taxes
too.
go out, it's not coming back as like an equal balance for the people.
You're right. It comes back even more to the people.
No,
You know,
I don't see that.
3.2 minus 40 is 37 billion that comes back to the country.
I would like to see some actual proof of that, not just you saying trust me,
Sure.
bro.
I got you.
Okay.
Like honestly, because that
while
doesn't
he-
benefit the American people, in my opinion.
While he's
But
pulling that
Andre,
up,
please.
I'll allow
So
Andre to
opinions
answer.
are like assholes.
Andre,
Everybody's got one.
Andre, if you could see the money go towards Americans, what would you think? How do you think that $3 billion would be better spent each year?
Oh, honestly, we're looking at this Gen Z. A lot of us are working 2 jobs. We're and tens of thousands of dollars of debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. I mean, go to reducing some of this debt in this country. That is more important long term. Put it into a fund to where, I don't think we're going to have Social Security, Gen Z. I don't think we're going to have that. I think the boomers are going to be the last one. Maybe boomers and Gen Xers will be the last ones to have that. Maybe a little bit the early millennials too will include them, but most of us won't have it. So let's get a fund going for us, for our generation, so we can retire and have a good life just like the boomers did, right? I've never heard more goy cattle shit come out of one person's mouth ever. I never thought we would have this many goyim talking in the way that they do, like being the biggest bootlickers for Jewish power and Jewish supremacy. It's honestly sad the amount of propaganda.
Yeah, that's not answering the question, Andre.
I'm just saying in general, not you, Heaven.
All he knows how to do is talk shit. He doesn't know how to talk about facts.
Can I answer my question? Can I answer to it? Can I get into it? Like, can I finish what I was saying?
As long as you're not
Okay,
doing personal attacks, because I'm not okay with.
I'm just saying in general. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, I don't want money going to Israel. I really don't want any of this money. I would rather see it go towards the wages. The military-industrial complex, I mean, it's fucking retarded to sit back and say we're getting money from that. We're not getting money from that. Big corporations, big billionaires, people outside of that, people who are connected to that, they get it, but not the average American gets nothing out of wars in the Middle East or, Raytheon getting a boost in their stock. It doesn't fucking see anything for me. If I'm invested into it, yes. If I'm invested into Palantir, yes. If I'm, if I'm getting some money to it, get fine. But other than that, the average American working 2 jobs right now who just had their first child, they're going through college, whatever, they're not getting anything from these policies that have been, that our entire country has been affected by for the last 30, 40 plus years.
I asked this question. It's important to me. I'm about to be a grandmother, so it's important to me to hear Enzo's generation, Andre's generation, everybody, the younger generations, point of view on this and how we go forward as Americans, whether it's on the right or left, regardless of where anybody stands, we're all Americans, and that's what's most important. So it's really important for me. Thank you, Enzo, for your perspective, and Andre as well. I appreciate you answering the questions.
I'm going to bring up Kimberly now. Kimberly, do you have a question you'd like to add?
Yes, it's a this or that question. Is the United States military, the United States government, and by extension Israel, the strongest, most advanced, smartest, well-funded, unequal military force in the world, or are we a perpetual victim that we need to constantly step down on and trample on people who are much less advanced, much less strong than we are? It's one or the other. Are we the strongest military force in the world, the United States and by extension Israel, or are we not?
Andre first.
Go ahead and repeat the question. I'm sorry. I was looking at the comment.
It's like an ironic question. Like, we're either the strongest military in the country, in the world, and we don't need to constantly attack other people that are much less strong than us, or we are not the strongest military in the country, in the world, sorry. And we need to constantly defend ourselves from much lesser threats because of the irony in that the United States government always holds.
Yeah, I don't understand why, a civilizational state like the United States of America has to sit back and focus on the petty battles and affairs of its satellite states, of its vassals. Why would the emperor come down and talk to a count unless things are being fucked up, or talk to a baron? Why should I have to talk to that? It's something the Duke should focus on. It's something, if anything, those within that county should focus on, not, the emperor coming down and saying, what's going on here down in my county, unless things are really fucked up, or he seeks to benefit from it. And those within the kingdom, those within the court seek to benefit. That's the only way you would see that happen. So, we are the most powerful country in the world. I think that America is the home of the best and brightest. I'm an American supremacist. I believe in American supremacy. I think we would drive the world forward with what we have in this country. But as long as we are puppets of the Jewish state, of the Jewish ethno-state, and pushing for their dominance in the region and neglecting our own failures here at home, we're not going to last very long. And this stuff is, honestly, I'm just confident in the next 10 or 20 years, there'll be more people like me in power. That's all I don't have to worry about it. We got people like James Fishback running. We've got a lot of good people coming out who are doing fantastic work and are gaining more power. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. I mean, they have the #1 podcast in the world. Jake Shields, love him. I got to talk with him. Great dude. They've got great podcasts, and those people are winning, and those people are being supported by the average person. I'm having normal conversations with the average person, and they're bringing up these people. They're not bringing up Lindsey Graham or Sean Hannity's old ass or Laura Ingraham or any of the bootlickers like Dave Bongino, whatever the fuck his Italian ass is. They're not listening to these idiots. They're listening to the real people who know what's going on and wants things better for our country and for our people.
And so let me rephrase the question so you understand it. She's basically saying, if we are if we are so strong, why are we the victim? And I saw your face. I'll also allow you to respond to Andre. Andre is excited because he feels like the future of politics is shifting away from Israel.
We're
Do you
cooked.
agree with that?
We're cooked. We're fucking cooked. He just put Kataro Tuckerson and Candace Owens and says this is the future. We're cooked, if that's it. We're cooked. Holy fucking shit. I really just want to jump in the mind of
So get off your podcast and do something. Get off your lives and do something. Go fight for the war or go run for an office.
What do you think I'm doing?
Wait,
what do you think I'm doing, Heaven?
Arguing
What do you think I'm doing? What do you think I'm doing? I'm literally running a campaign for my 2032 fucking congressional run as we fucking speak. As we speak. What are you doing? What are you doing? You got so much to say with about me, but you haven't done a goddamn thing. You went to the military. Good for you. Good for you.
Okay.
Good for
and
you.
Enzo, I would say, yeah, she did 20 years. I'm going to be honest. She did 20 years.
Good for you. Good
That's
for
a,
you.
That's a big difference right there.
Good for you. And then you sit online and then you bitch about people who actually know more than you about shit.
Well,
I remember
Enzo, I would say
where I fucking cooked.
You're an electrician.
I hate to.
I know.
I hate to side.
Enlist. Go enlist.
And I still know
Go
more than you.
enlist.
I don't need to
go
enlist.
enlist.
I don't need to. That's why it's a
Enzo, as much as I don't like heaven, I have to say, buddy.
Go enlist. That's
You'd
fine.
respect veterans so much that you
I do respect veterans.
I do respect veterans. Reclaim your time back. We're gonna let you reclaim your time.
I don't give a fuck. I don't need my time. I don't need my time. It's fine.
You don't respect this one.
Hold on.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Is it because
I don't. I don't respect you. I will never respect you. I will never respect you for how you came at me. You threatened to fucking kill me. You're a dumb fucking bitch, and I will never respect you for that.
Enzo, stop. If you do want to run, stop. She served in the military. Stop.
I don't care. I didn't want her service.
I didn't want you cutting her off. I didn't want her cutting you off. So that's why I pulled her back. I want you to answer the question because it is an important question to answer. Okay. I was dumbing down the question because I wanted to remind you of the question because he said a lot. I could tell you got lost in it. So it was no insult to Kim either. Why I rephrased the question, but
no, I understood the question. I'll answer the question straight up. America is the greatest superpower on the earth, and we need to stay that way. That's it. That's my answer.
We can't do that if we're fighting for the wars of vassal states. We can't really do that as a superpower.
We're not fighting for anybody. You guys love to say that we're Israel's proxy when Israel's our proxy at the end of the day. You guys love to say this.
Not really.
You can't tell us how we're sold out to Israel. But you'll talk about people that are the future of this country. Hold on, Andre, shut up real quick.
I can tell you exactly how.
Shut the fuck up.
I won't shut up.
Sideways to you
the moment someone tells me to shut up, I don't do that.
Let me know when you're done.
I'm always going sideways. We're trending sideways. All right, check the NASDAQ. Anyway, so when it comes to Israel, our politicians and various different presidents, not just President Trump, but Obama, Bush, Bill Clinton, Daddy Bush, you remember Herbert Walker? Okay, they have all pushed for policies and pushed us further and further to the Middle East each decade, each term, every time they get elected. And we have people within Congress, within the Senate, we have people like Lindsey Graham pushing like, oh, we should really be pushing for boots on the ground. Really, I don't think his constituents in Kentucky would like that. I don't think the younger people who will be voting and have more time to understand politics a lot better than what we do in the next 10 years are going to be very favorable of like, let's go and fight in the desert when I can't afford things. Let's go fight in the desert when gas is, $4, $5, $6 right now. Probably maybe get 10. That'll be like a nightmare scenario. Could you imagine that? That's not a good thing. And I'm going to be honest, man. Enzo, as much as I don't like heaven, everyone knows me and heaven don't get along, but she did do 20 years and she retired. She did 20 years and retired. You're being very Jewish. You're being very Jewish right now, running away from the conversation.
Can you fucking mute him the same way you guys muted me? Like, come on. Like, let me get my fucking time now.
We're muting him now.
Thank you. Thank you. So no, this is what the fuck we have. This is the problem that we fucking have in this country is you got idiots like this who claim the United States is sold out, but in the same breath will say Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are the future when they're the ones who are sold out to Qatar. Again, it's rules for thee, not for me. You'll call out one, but you won't call out the other. This is the problem that we have. You have low IQ people in this fucking world, like Andre, like Heaven, like Kim, and I'm gonna call them all out by fucking name. All of them are low fucking IQ who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. One is a pacifist and thinks that the United States should just stop doing everything altogether and that we should just be perfectly fine and not to have a military and not do anything in this fucking world. Then you have Heaven who wants to assert her fucking military service like she's holier than thou, and that's
Wait a minute, I'm a pacifist now?
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking to you, and I'm not talking about you. Sit your happy ass on mute. Now I'm gonna get to Andre. You got Andre.
I'm a pacifist.
The fucking black man in the world
now he's gonna
who's advocating for white supremacy in this country, and when they get to power, you're gonna get.
Where have I advocated for white supremacy? Give me.
I can talk now. Thank
Andre,
you.
don't cut him off, please. Let him finish.
Exactly.
We've been cut
You got
off
this dumb fuck over here advocating for white supremacy, advocating for white supremacists, and running around with Nick Fuentes and his little pedophile buddy Jake Lang over here. Nick Fuentes, the fucking Mexican.
I'm not a fan of Nick Fuentes. I'm not a fan of Jake Lang.
This week, you're not a fan of Nick Fuentes and fucking.
If you're gonna say things that are, here's what I'm gonna say.
Let me know when I can talk. Let me know when I can talk. Let me know when I can talk. Let me know when I can talk.
Keep chimping out.
Let me know when I can talk.
Let him finish because I want. Let's get through this. Where are we at with the time? Okay, well he left.
Chimping out. Just jumping out. I'm trying to figure out where I'm advocating for white supremacy. Like I said, Enzo loved my content and liked me and spoke, I would give it to maybe a neutral, didn't really give his, true opinion of me, but it wasn't a problem until I started talking about Israel and start talking about the Jews. And they always show themselves. And he's like, I'm running around with Jake Lang. I said to Nora and Gray, you guys were all here. I haven't talked to Jake like that since like January. I'm not really cool with somebody who likes to fuck 16-year-olds. And guess what? I don't like being a fucking puppet for Jews. I'm not doing that. I was disgusted when I found out he was. And I thought like, oh, well, he's a nice guy. We'll see what happens with him. But other than that, I've only done like 2 events with him and that's it. And I'm my own thing everywhere I go. So I don't know why you're someone like Nick Fuentes. If anyone who's been watching me, people who've been watching me for a long time knows that I went to war with Groypers and didn't like them a few years ago. They fucking did not like me. I did a debate with some of the Groyper lieutenants. I don't fucking like Groypers because a lot of Groypers don't really want to do anything in the real world. The few that I come across that are working in politics, like in my state, when I've been sitting here working for a lot of Groypers who are in politics, they're fine. But the rest of them, most of them are fucking incels. Most of them are just like using Catholicism to justify why they can't get women. Yeah, they used Catholicism to justify why they can't get women. It's like, well, I'm going to be Catholic and say like, I'm waiting for, my 16-year-old wife. It's like, nigga, just say you can't get bitches. You don't know how to talk to women. That's fine. We can help you. But don't sit here and use religion to justify, because I know plenty of Catholics that are like the biggest womanizers and they're the most holiest of holy men. And I respect a lot of them. I'm going to be honest. So I don't buy that shit. He's chimping out. I don't know. Like I said, SpaghettiO's mad today. I don't know.
I'm going to announce the poll results since he left. Who won? Andre Williams, 62%, Enzo, 38%. So,
and to be fair, Enzo's friends were here, so they could vote. So this is nobody. I mean, Andre has his side, so none of his side necessarily voted on our side. But we're gonna move on to the super chats. Thank you on Andre's side. Sidegeek sent you $50 and a super sticker. Andre, big super chat. Heaven said, you aren't going, loser. Thank you for your super chat. Enzo is okay with killing our men and women, but won't sign up to risk his life. Shaking my head. Big Timmy answered about the question about why it's important to help Israel. He said we get intel, cybersecurity, and defense tech. So that was his answer to you, Heaven. XB said, I've been a friend of Enzo's for a long time. He's not a fan of you, Andre, and never has been.
She would have said that to start instead of playing. I don't like people that play in my face. You know, at least Heaven was like, I don't like you in the beginning. And that's why I respect Heaven. It's like, you know what? She didn't like me. That's great. She let it be known. But niggas like Enzo will hide in the shadow. And I deal with this with the black Republicans. They'll sit there and Andre, I love your content. We collab. And I start talking about Israel. It's like, this nigga, he's an anti-Semite and he's a Qatari propagandist. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? They brought this Qatar shit to counter the Jew shit. I swear, it's the most retarded shit.
I will say though, thank you, Andre, for having my back and respecting me and my service. Thank you all for that, because y'all in the chat, that wasn't scripted. And
thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you for yours. I took you down, Heaven, because I didn't want him to feel like it was an attack on him at this point and to continue on. So I apologize. I didn't want to offend you, but I also didn't want him to keep going and disrespecting you, because I think it's better. I removed you at that point, and then it wasn't feeling like taken from the point of this. The point of this was not to have him disrespect you. So, okay.
But I will say that y'all, I don't appreciate the insults he said to any of y'all. I think you guys are all highly intelligent. We've all had conversations. Me and Enzo used to be cool, which this has went left and all the way left. But
I can be cool with anyone, and I've never disrespected anyone. I think I try not to. Sometimes I'm a little sarcastic, but the thing with Enzo is that he does. Tell you that. The thing with Enzo is that I think I told him in the chat, like, he doesn't make any logical sense. Like, he needs to go back to, I remember one of my favorite classes was logical rhetoric, and he goes like every single logical fallacy you could think of, red herring, stickman. He goes through all of them. There's no logical defense of Zionism or the Greater Israel Project. I think what's happening now is that it's getting increasingly more difficult to defend it, that people are getting, you know, like Enzo, like increasingly, I don't know if he's stressed. I don't want to speak for him, but it's
I think Enzo's getting attacked 24/7 defending this. And Enzo, I love you, but you can't defend this. This is fuckery at this point. Yeah. You can't defend what's going on. And I feel bad for the people having to defend this. Trump is fucking America right now. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. And there's no other way to put this. We are fucked. We are cooked. And I'm sorry. There's no better way to put this. I mean, to play victim and say, I'm sorry for what's happening to Israel last night, but to sit there and then listening to Netanyahu this morning and play victim, we are cooked. And I feel bad and I really pray for America. Please, guys, stay safe, because this is just the beginning, I think. And again, I love Enzo, but I think it's hard to defend this. I think he's getting it from all angles. And Enzo, if you're watching, I still love you, but I don't know what else to say. You can't defend this, unfortunately.
Before we get to our final thoughts, I just want to say that, you know, we try to respect everybody's opinion. Everybody should get along. Heaven, like Enzo, you know, I know it's an emotional stance, but we give the people 2 minutes to have their response. So we want to be able to make sure everybody gets their chance when we do a debate. But if you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and press the notification bell to know when we go live.
And somebody said something that I don't like, that we ganged up on Enzo. No, we gave Enzo the opportunity to bring someone with him tonight. Let's put that fucking out there. You ain't gonna fucking lie on me tonight, okay? Nobody fucking ganged up on Enzo. So Enzo could have brought whoever he fucking wanted tonight, and we gave the opportunity. So don't play that shit. I'm gonna let y'all motherfuckers know. Stop coming in our shit and talking shit. I've had it up to here with y'all, okay? This is the new party. We respect all fucking opinions. This is not the motherfucking Enzo show. This is not the fucking right-wing Trump supporter show. So if y'all don't fucking like it, don't fucking show up. That's that. I've had it up to here with y'all shit. Every fucking night, y'all come in here talking shit to our fucking team. Our team comes in here night after night for fucking free to say what they want to say. So stop the shit. I've had it up to here. Really, I don't care. Like, we
I've
can
also
talk
never
about-
attacked Enzo.
Yeah.
Enzo's like name called me and like I don't even like what does low IQ even mean now? It's like anti-Semitism. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Also, when I was 15, I tested into Mensa, but not that that matters. Like yeah, I think that's like the sure way to lose a fucking argument is like if you just attack people or name call. I could have a conversation. I'm not a debater because people get argumentative, but I could have a conversation with Enzo respectfully. I could have a conversation with anybody respectfully. I have friends who are Zionists, Jewish Zionists, Israel Jewish Zionists, but I mean, as long as you stay away from the religious argument because there is none. But I don't.
I'm an ordained minister too, so we can talk about that as well. So I mean,
Well,
we
let's
can
let
talk about the
Andre.
religious side too. We want to talk about the genocide and the Holocaust that's been going on. I've seen the dead bodies and burning bodies over the past almost 3 years. I've watched them live. Some of them were my friends in Palestine that have been murdered. So, yeah,
That's
the things that are happening are war crimes. This is how can we defend this? What would Jesus do? Well, let's ask yourself that. Let's bring that back.
Let's let Andre do his final thoughts first, Heaven. Then we will let everybody do theirs because Andre was the one debating. So, Andre, what's your final thoughts?
I don't know why, like I said, Mario, like I said, he had to jump out and do everything. Maybe, the plumbing week was pretty bad for him. I don't know. Got some bad house calls. I don't know. The Greater Israel Project. I honestly, when we look at what's going on right now, America's cooked. There's no going back from it. They released the Epstein files to let you know that, hey, we've been manipulating your politicians, your celebrities, your businesses to push for pro-Israel policies, to push for pro-Jewish policies, to push against the rise of anti-Semitism because we don't want to be criticized when we do these things. And that's why they did it. The question is, what do we do going beyond this? And there is a generational movement against the establishment, a generational movement against the entrenched powers within Washington, within Silicon Valley, within Wall Street, and of course, Israel. I mean, everyone I talk to is around my age. We're very anti-Israel. They may not be as knowledgeable on the Jewish question or well-versed on it for years, but they're aware of the increasing problem and the obvious problem that we have with Israel and their influence over our politics. This whole Qatar nonsense is unfounded and ridiculous. I mean, like I said, Qatar doesn't have influence over our politics. Qatar doesn't have influence over academia. There's no legislation being passed to silence anti-Qatar rhetoric, or there's no wars being pushed to advance the interests of Qatar, unless we're talking about the petrodollar, which affects Israel, Saudi Arabia, and much of the Emirati states. That's all it is. Other than that, we don't really have anything. So I really don't know what he's talking about. I didn't really, like I said, I don't really like the, shitting on someone's service is like, well, what have you done? I'm like, well, someone's done 20 years of service. That's a lot. I'm going to be honest. That's a lot right there, regardless if I disagree with the person or not. So I don't know if Enzo's going to sign up and go and fight when they start storming the beaches and taking the islands, but I highly doubt it. A lot of these people who are talking, they will not be the first ones to go and fight. And if they get drafted, and I highly doubt that would happen, but if that were ever to happen, they'll be the first ones complaining. They'll be the first ones trying to get out of it because they don't want to go and deal with that pain. No one wants to deal with that pain. So there's really no more really to talk about, honestly. These people are losing in the long term. My worldview and the worldview that many people share against Israel and against the entrenched powers in this country, we're going to win. It's just a matter of time. However, nothing is absolute. Nothing is guaranteed. It is will to power's will that we have in order to push against this. And we have to consolidate that and keep a proper path and going against what currently exists. So that's all I got to say.
Kim, what's your final thoughts, and are you a pacifist?
Yes, I am, just like Jesus. My politics are the politics of Jesus. Jesus was a pacifist. He was a socialist. He was a humanitarian, egalitarian. He was also Jewish. I do want to say, in response to the people claiming that we ganged up on Enzo, I'll have a conversation with Enzo if he would like, or anybody, not a debate, about Zionism. Zionism is probably the death of the U.S. empire. It is the last nail in the coffin. It's completely antithetical to any of the democratic policies or views or anything that people espouse to have. So I'll have that conversation with respect to people's religion, because like I said, I won't make the religious argument. There is no religious argument for Zionism, which by the way is a Christian prophecy, but the prophecy of Israel was fulfilled when Jesus rose again. Amen. And the cost of U.S. hegemony and the cost of U.S. empire are actual human lives. So when Enzo was talking about, well, we get a profit off of that, that's despicable, because the expense of that is human lives. So we've already lost right there. And then also, if I could shamelessly plug myself, I come out in my boss's second season, my ex-boss, her second season of her reality shows, completely unrelated, but it just came out. It's on VIX, which is under Univision. If you guys can go watch it. It is in Spanish, but it has English subtitles. It's called Chiqui Sin Filtro, and it came out yesterday. If you guys can watch it.
Kim, you heard me? Put it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Heaven, what's your final thoughts? And do you throw your military service in people's faces?
Why did I get a question for my final thought? But also, I'll answer the question and then I'll say my final thought. So this was my career, my entire life, from sunup to sundown. I wasn't a weekend warrior. I woke up on base. It was all day, every day, 24-hour duties, deployments. Let's send Enzo to NTC. Oh, he wouldn't even understand that. It's a training, but it's real hot. But anyways, I digress. When you speak about things that are based on foreign relations, and I worked specifically with the military and in and with foreign militaries as well, and you're incorrect in what you're saying and you are corrected, you don't get to then attack me because you were corrected by somebody. Just take the information. Don't attack them. That doesn't mean I'm throwing it in his face. I'm saying, hey, I was in the military. I have this as my evidence of like, hey, I know what I'm talking about. That was my entire life. Thank you. For the people in the chat who said, this is why women shouldn't be ministers. They should really read the Bible. And if they believe that this is the time of revelations, then he did say, if I remember correctly, that in this day, his sons and daughters would prophesy. You might want to look that up. But I study all religions, so that's just one of the books. What else? I had a couple other things I wanted to say. But you got me sideways with the question. I'm going to pray for America. I'm going to pray for everyone. I'm going to pray for all of the Christians to realize that if you believe that this is the time, then you are being led by false prophets, and that is in your book. Read the scriptures yourself and discern for yourself, and stop letting people tell you what it is and tell you what it means, because God is in you and with you and always around you. And Jesus was a Jew because Christianity wasn't invented yet. Duh. And he was a Palestinian Jew. So there's that historical fact. Because I, again, wasn't always an ordained minister. I was a soldier first. So I dedicated my life to defending our nation, or what I thought that was. And now I am dedicating my life to figuring out and studying the words of God and others' gods as well, to get a grasp and understanding.
Okay.
All religions matter. Blessed.
Okay. Guys, we do this because these conversations are important. You know, we try to keep it maintained. We try to referee it. We try to make sure everybody gets a chance and everybody gets a fair shake. So we'll keep doing this. We'll keep bringing it to you. You know, Enzo, we gave you the best chance that we did. You wanted to do this. Hopefully, you know, you can do it again. These conversations are important. You know, we do get emotional about these things, but that's why we talk about it, so that we can get the right information out there. You did a terrible job tonight, Gray. Hey, it is what it is. I try to make it a fair debate. This happened. Thank you guys for supporting. Have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow on the Man Cave talking about Trump dissing Mueller. Come back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Have a good night.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the new party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the New Party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.